You're still watching Your Story right here on the SABC News Channel. Anti-racism marchers have called on the presidency to intervene and also urged law enforcement authorities to deal decisively against those found practicing acts of racism.
Scores of protesters handed over a memorandum of demands to the management of the Hartbeespoort police station near Brits in the northwest. This is in response to several recent incidents in the area. Local lawyer Harteye Ngoato, who's part of the protest, says he was called by the K-word and subsequently assaulted by a white man at a local restaurant recently.
Organizer Russel Baloyi says that government must act speedily. Sipho Stuurman has more.
All right, we've gathered here at Hartbeespoort in the northwest, where residents have come in their numbers to march against racism. Now, of course, we know this town is a beautiful tourist attraction in the northwest. Of course, there is that Hartbees Dam that we always come to for long weekends. But we are told that beyond natural beauty, there is an ugly truth about this town, the ugly truth of racism. And as such, the residents have come here to say enough. And I'm joined by one of the people that organized this march. So if you can please introduce yourself and just talk to us about this march.
My name is Russel Baloyi and I am the spokesperson for the march. The background really is simple. We from the Hartbees Community Development Initiative, we felt that we had enough of racism. As you would know, in the recent past, we have witnessed racial attacks where in the main the victims are black. So we decided that it's about time that we mobilize the community, and we extended an invitation to the white community and all coloreds and Indians of this town to say, come forward and join us to stop racism.
And saying that you extended to the invitation to the diversity of the town, but it's not fully well represented here. Does that speak of the issue that this town faces?
No, definitely. Not even black people are well represented here. Black people are underrepresented as much as white people are underrepresented. Because as we were trying to organize this march, positively so, we had the enemy that was working very hard to undermine our efforts. People were scared that they are going to drown, there's going to be stampede at the dam, which was never the case. We never had any stampede. So people used fear to scare people to come here. Some of the white communities were told that their shops are going to be looted, and this is a march against white people, which was never the case. We are saying that South Africa belongs to all people who live in it, and it's about time that we all enjoy the benefits of this country.
All right, now let's talk about the issue, because you came to send this memorandum here at the police station. Now, talk to us about the issues that you say some community members are facing within this police station here.
Well, one of the real issues that the community is facing here, you take for example, today is Friday. And what happens in Friday, people are jolly and they go drinking, irrespective of their color. But if you go on Saturday morning to check who wakes up in the police cells, they are predominantly or only black people, which is not really true. Because in reality, we know white people drink, they also get stopped by the police and get arrested. But they do have the numbers for the powers that they may be, and they call them and they get released.
Now let's talk about the access. I mentioned earlier on this Hartbees Dam is a very popular attraction here, and you're saying that there is some racial exclusion when it comes to access to this natural resource there.
Definitely. You will understand that black people in the majority are very poor, and the moment you use money as a gate control measure, it means the majority of people cannot be able to access that. So we have a situation where some of our people are not able to get into the dam and enjoy the beautiful environment simply because they cannot afford to pay. And we're talking about local people who grew up here, who lives here.
All right, well, thank you very much, sir, for your time and trying your best to create that sense of unity. I must say your message was that you're not discriminating against any race, but rather calling for unity. And I am now joined by one man who is said to be a victim of a racial attack incident here recently. Say, if you can also just introduce yourself, your name, your surname, and just talk to us about this racial incident that you alleged happened.
My name is Harteye Ngoato, and I've been a resident of this community for the last 18 years.
All right. Now let's talk about the incident. You made the news that you were attacked, and talk to us about what makes you call it a racist incident.
Look, there's nothing that happened prior to that. And the only thing that they said when I was attacked to say they don't want black people in that particular place, in the Uvers Club, which is a government land. No one has a right to deny a black person to have access into government land simply because he's black. That is racism.
All right, so now you've gathered there as a community, not such a big crowd, but I'm sure a statement has been made. What's your take? Are you satisfied by this move?
I am satisfied with the move. I mean, the number of people that are here, I'm very happy with it. But we have to take racism head on as individuals and as collective. Because racism is not just physical, it's systematic. Everywhere you get subjected to racism, you walk into the Ubers, they look at you as if you're stinking. You go to school, your kids get treated differently because they're black. You try to have access to land, you are treated differently because you are black. That should stop. 25 years into democracy, we cannot have this kind of situation happening. You come to the police station where is a place of safety, where you're supposed to report this thing. The police treat you differently because you are black. The cells in this particular police station, they're only meant for black people. Why white men are not allowed to be able to sleep in the cells? The very same man who attacked me on that particular night was allowed to go home because he's white. And if it was the opposite, I would have slept in this particular cells. We have cases in this particular town where white people have killed black men. He's still not been arrested. Why? If it's a black man that is accused of a crime, he gets arrested and you investigate late. If it's a white man, you investigate first and you arrest late, and the arrest never happened.
Race is, of course, an emotional issue, and I can see that you're getting emotional about this. But what do you think can be done then to bring a sense of healing and a sense of unity within this town? Do you think initiatives like this, we need something more like this?
Yes, we do, but I think it's 25 years down the line. We've been too soft about talking about racism. We've been dealing with racism in a softer way. We need to confront it in the same manner as racism it is.
What do you mean confront it? What does that entail, though?
There has to be drastic measures, both from the government, from a legislative point of view, and from individuals. You should not, as an individual, allow a white person to treat you different and not being able to react. We need to start defending ourselves, because right now, we've got no any defense mechanism. The police cannot defend you, the system cannot defend you, so who are you left with? Defend yourself against racism. Take it on. If a person treats you differently because you're black, deal with that particular person at that stage.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Well, those are one of the alleged victims of a racist attack here in Hartbeespoort, and the message is that each and every one of us must defend themselves against racism, and they're saying that 25 years later into democracy, it is not acceptable that people are discriminated against just on the basis of the color of their skin. And with that, it's back to you in studio.